He is a powerful voice. A lot of people follow him on Twitter. Are you worried about his impact? Or might he have a point about some of the things he's saying? Well, Musk has been tweeting over the past few days about your response to this crisis, about what's been going on.
A single post from Elon Musk has shaken British politics, firing a direct shot at Keir Starmer and putting the Labour Party leader under serious pressure. As housing costs climb and working families struggle to stay afloat, Musk's message has struck a nerve across the country. But it's Starmer's silence that's turning up the heat, raising tough questions and intensifying scrutiny. Could this be the moment that defines his leadership? Before we continue, take a second to like the video and subscribe to the channel. Most viewers watch without subscribing, and your support makes a real difference. If you've already subscribed, thank you. Now, let's get back to it.
And I think it's very important for us all to support the police.
Claim that civil war in the UK is inevitable.
My focus is on ensuring that our communities are safe. That is my sole focus.
When Elon Musk fired off his explosive tweet, it hit like a political thunderclap. Yet the response from Keir Starmer has been nothing but silence. Days have passed since the tech billionaire's sharp criticism, and the leader of the Labour Party has offered no clear reply. In an era where politicians sprint to social media to defend their record, this quiet pause is turning heads across the spectrum. Normally, a rapid rebuttal or a tightly worded statement from his team would follow, but as the clock keeps ticking, public frustration grows louder. Online platforms are flooded with speculation, and even loyal supporters are beginning to feel uneasy. The longer the silence drags on, the more it fuels the perception that the issue is being avoided. So the question now is simple: why the continued silence?
And these people are bringing cultures that are totally unassimilable with British culture, with English culture. Government is bringing people from dubious and very doubtful countries, and obviously there's going to be a problem. It's not a rocket science problem.
Some political analysts argue this could be a calculated play, suggesting Keir Starmer may be refusing to engage in order to deny Elon Musk any further spotlight. Others believe legal strategy could be influencing the delay, with advisors carefully choosing their words to avoid unintended consequences. But in today's relentless media cycle, silence can cut just as deep as a misstep. According to Dr. Emma Thompson, a political communications specialist at University of Oxford, hesitation carries its own risks. Failing to respond swiftly can be interpreted as weakness or poor leadership, allowing critics to seize control of the narrative. As pressure intensifies around the Labour Party leader, speculation is mounting over what might finally prompt a response: a bold policy reveal, a high-profile appearance, or an internal development that forces clarity. The tension is rising, and political reporters are watching closely for any sign that the silence is about to end.
So long. This is why the anti-immigration protesters are so angry, and the more that they keep being called racist and bigots, and what we've seen with Keir Starmer's response, as well as the mainstream media in the UK, for Keir Starmer to take that safe route and not say we need to look after all communities. It's just all about the migrant community.
While Keir Starmer continues to hold back from commenting publicly, quiet signals are emerging from within the Labour Party ranks. An unnamed party figure at Palace of Westminster was heard defending the party's immigration approach, describing it as firm yet fair. But muted reassurances are a far cry from the decisive response many supporters expected. As this standoff deepens, it's increasingly clear that the criticism from Elon Musk has hit a sensitive point, forcing Labour's leadership into a reactive posture as they work to steady their footing and reclaim control of the narrative.
Just stay at home. I think we should be encouraging, nay forcing in some instances, these people out of their houses, and there must be jobs. So when Blair opened the borders and had everybody in, because apparently we need people in this country to do those jobs, that presumably sent a message.
More that pressure cooker continues to boil, and as we've seen in the last week, it's absolutely
But what triggered such a direct challenge from the head of Tesla Incorporated? To understand the force behind the criticism, we have to look at the core issues driving Elon Musk and the specific policies that have placed Keir Starmer firmly in the spotlight of public scrutiny.
I came into politics relatively late in life, having done other things. I came in with one purpose only, and that is to change lives for the better.
Is that because you essentially misled the country during the election and you've raised taxes in a way that no one was expecting or voted? Popularity has collapsed more significantly after winning an election than any other prime minister in modern history.
Remember when Keir Starmer pledged to put British citizens first? Fast forward to today, and critics are questioning whether that commitment has faded as public resources appear to be redirected in controversial ways. On the campaign trail, the Labour Party leader outlined a vision of a Britain where working families would come first, promising firmer immigration oversight and stronger support for UK residents during difficult economic times. Yet many argue the reality looks different. Under his leadership, resource priorities have shifted, with housing assistance and financial support increasingly focused on recent arrivals and asylum cases, while working-class communities continue to grapple with rising housing costs and mounting financial pressure. Critics argue the real contradiction lies in the pressure these policies may be placing on already stretched communities. As demand rises, housing costs climb higher, leaving long-term UK residents feeling squeezed out of neighbourhoods they've called home for decades and questioning how their tax contributions are being allocated. The frustration is no longer limited to property prices. Public services are under visible strain, with longer healthcare queues, crowded classrooms, and a growing perception that ordinary citizens are being pushed further down the priority list during a period of economic hardship. As families are urged to cut back and absorb rising costs, dissatisfaction continues to build. The political impact on Keir Starmer has been significant, with recent polling reflecting a sharp decline in approval ratings, one of the steepest early drops faced by a leader of the Labour Party in recent memory. Public patience is clearly thinning, and the perception of broken promises is intensifying criticism that Keir Starmer is drifting from the voters he pledged to defend. In many working-class areas, residents say their concerns feel overlooked while resources appear to be redirected elsewhere, widening the gap between campaign rhetoric and governing reality. Across the United Kingdom, the strain is becoming more visible, testing the balance of a society that takes pride in its diversity. In the town of Oakville, tensions recently spilled into the streets as locals gathered outside a converted hotel being used to accommodate asylum seekers, arguing that community services were already overstretched. The protest grew heated, prompting police to step in as emotions ran high, underscoring just how charged and complex the national debate has become. This local unrest reflects a broader national divide. Britain's path toward multiculturalism has always required a delicate balance between integration and respecting cultural differences, but today's tensions feel sharper and more pronounced. Many citizens now feel sidelined in their own communities, with polarization between groups intensifying. Media coverage adds fuel to the fire, as social platforms amplify extreme opinions and traditional outlets often sensationalize disputes for clicks, creating a volatile environment that magnifies frustration. Public discourse is faltering, rational debate is becoming rare, and clashes between community leaders and activists are escalating. While some argue that prioritizing support for recent arrivals strains working-class citizens, others insist on compassion and acknowledgement of every community's contributions, leaving the country caught between competing visions of fairness and social cohesion. Tensions are at a boiling point, common ground is vanishing, and the consequences could be profound. Rising social unrest and incidents of community conflict are straining the fabric of United Kingdom, sparking fears of divided neighbourhoods and parallel societies. Yet even amid the turmoil, grassroots initiatives are working to bridge gaps and foster understanding. For Keir Starmer and the Labour Party, the stakes are enormous. How this crisis is managed may define British politics for years, with his own leadership hanging by a thread. Once a rising star, a former director of public prosecutions and Labour's moderate face after the 2019 defeat, Starmer's early promise has given way to growing public skepticism. Trust has slowly eroded, driven by perceived policy reversals and broken campaign promises, leaving the question, can he regain credibility and steer both his party and the nation forward? Starmer's constant shifts on Brexit, immigration, and economic policies have left even loyal Labour supporters reeling, exposing a widening chasm between promises and action that fuels voter frustration. A single tweet from Elon Musk sent shockwaves across the globe, magnifying doubts about his leadership and turning what was once an international advantage into a liability. Questions about UK political stability now loom among foreign investors and allies, while wavering party members drift away, weakening both support and fundraising just as a general election nears. Analysts warn of a potential electoral disaster if trust isn't rebuilt, with the Conservatives ready to capitalise on Labour's turmoil. Speculation swirls over whether Starmer will step aside to save the party or cling to power and risk catastrophic loss. As uncertainty grips the nation, one question dominates: can Labour restore credibility, or is Britain on the brink of a historic political shift that could redefine its future for decades?